guys, it's me again. This is part 2 of series, I guess, that I'm going to be doing, Paranormal Experiences. If you haven't seen my first one, you should go check it out. Now, in the last story time, I mentioned 3 things that were all physical. I caught like one on video, that the whole like bleeding blood thing. Everything in there had so much evidence that you couldn't disprove it. That's not going to be how this video is going to be. This video is going to be multiple experiences in somebody else's house. Normally, I don't have any experiences in anybody's house besides my own. This is a neighbor of mine. We like give each other Christmas cards. Like we're very, very close. Basically, when we go out of town, she watches our dog. When she goes out of town, we watch her dog. And what's funny is she has told us of a paranormal experience that she's had in my house where she thought that she heard an old lady talking and thought maybe it was my mom with like stuff in her throat. So it's kind of funny that I had an experience in her house as well. I've had like many things happen in that house. In previous videos, I have said that I love to watch animals, especially dogs, and a lot of the times I feel like they're very lonely and they miss people. So I'll do like my homework, or I'll like sit there next to them, or I'll play with them, or I'll do something. I'm always there extra amount of time. So this was no exception. Her dog's a very big dog. He'll like run and like chase things, and I'll give him like stuff to chew on. You know, you have to like get the energy out of it. I was in the house very, very often. I normally go there 3 times a day. And one of the days, the first time that I had went there and something had happened, it was not just one thing, but it was many things. Their house is kind of like my house, where you come in, you obviously see the kitchen, and you obviously see the living room, and then there's just a long hallway where there's a few bedrooms and then a bathroom at the very end. It seems like whenever I go and watch their dog, they either all have their doors open or all have their doors closed. For some reason, all of her family had left their doors open that time. I had a weird feeling that I needed to go to the back of the house, so I started to. Like in a horror movie, I was next to the bathroom, which is at the very end of the house, and I felt really, really cold. It got from like 80 degrees to like 60 degrees. All of their doors were open this time, so I was able to freely go into either room and peek in. I was wondering if there was some sort of air vent or if I was standing near something, so I was looking around and I went into the person's room. I was looking around and I felt it, like the energy just like suddenly was intense. And I didn't move more than a couple feet. I remember then feeling this cold feeling and thinking like, what is this? Is this something that's paranormal, or is this just me like feeling weird? And it seemed like it was cold in like generally like my area. So I remember thinking to myself like, what? All of these things that I'm about to tell you happened in about 30 seconds. I heard this graveling voice say, "Get out," and it sounded like a hushed scream, like as if whatever was saying it was holding back, but also like letting everything out at the same time. And it sounded like if it was a person in the room, it would have been a lot louder. There was something sealed to like change it, but it didn't sound like it was outside. It sounded like there was glass in between me and whatever was screaming. So again, this is all happening in like a span of like 30 seconds. So I sit there and I literally say out loud, "Okay, I'm sorry," just in case, you know? And I turned around, the hallway went down, there's the bathroom, the room that I went into that was the girls, and then the parents' room is right across. All the doors were open except for the bathroom, so I was able to see straight into the parents' room when I left the girls' room and walked through. And I saw in their parents' room a figure standing, like saw it as I was walking across, and I stopped a little bit and I turned back and I looked to see if it could have been like, you know, clothes or whatever. Your brain naturally wants to see a person when there's no person there, but I went and I looked back. So I swore I saw some sort of figure in the middle of their room standing, like a black silhouette of a man. And when I went back to look at it to see if it was like clothes or whatever, even though something had previously told me to leave, I'm not one to really be bossed around, so I went back and I looked anyways. I look at where the figure was standing, and I don't see anything anymore. Their bedspread is white, their carpet is white, their dressers are white. Everything in that room was white, besides some wooden frames, and those were really, really skinny, not like the bulky man that I saw. If I actually saw a man in there, like a physical man, he would have had to be standing in the bed, not around or in front. It was in the very middle of the room, so in the middle of the edge of the bed. At that point, my heart started to race. I literally like felt like anxiety. So I remember walking fast back down to let the dog out. I didn't let the dog out or put the dog in the crate or whatever. So I went and I did all of that really quickly and I left. I came back at another point in time and other things happened. I was sitting in their kitchen area, which is like their hallway goes down into their kitchen area, which is next to the front door, the obvious, you know, kitchen and dining room and living room part. It was at the other end of the hallway basically. And I remembered sitting there because I just felt like sitting. It was later at night. The only thing that I would be doing is watching TV or YouTube or just going to bed. And I just was like, I'll just sit here and I'll stare off into space for a little bit. And I was looking down their kitchen. Their kitchen is a hallway kitchen like mine. And that hallway kitchen, if you go to the right, is the big hallway. If you go to the left, is the front door. So I was basically staring at the part where if somebody was going to be walking down the hallway, they would have had to pass that to get to the door. I remember sitting there and then hearing as if there were dress shoes of a man walking down the hallway. And at first I was like, I looked down the hallway and I could see in all of the rooms and I knew there wasn't anybody there. So for me, it just made me think, oh, something else is there. So I was getting kind of freaked out because it was walking towards me, like down the hallway. I also could hear a faint whistling and I was really confused. And I know you watching are probably like, what the heck? I don't believe that. And I honestly wouldn't either if I didn't experience it. And I remember feeling as if it was at the very edge of the hallway to where if it took one more step, I'd see it through the kitchen. And I heard it stop and the whistling stopped. And my heart started pounding so quickly that I couldn't go out and pass it and go to the front door. And they have an opening that's next to the back door where I was near. And I remember I literally was so scared. I went out the back door and I jumped over the fence and I ran to my house from there. And I'm like their neighbor, so I'm like a couple houses down. So like me walking fast would have been fine, but I literally was so like something hit me that triggered my fight or flight response. And so I basically ran to my house, called my friend, told him what happened. I told my friend everything. I was like so scared. I was like hyperventilating. I was like shaking. And I think I made a vlog about it when I got home. But I'm not entirely sure because it was on my old laptop. It was a PC and this is a Mac laptop. So I'm not sure if I might be able to include a little snippet in there. I went into a room. So I went into the back. Just like the air became thicker in the room. And my gut just like dropped. I heard this thing as like the curtains were moving or whatever. I heard this thing and he was like, get out. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And I was leaving and I went out of her room and I saw across the hall. For some reason they all kept their doors open and I thought I saw like a shadow figure inside of her parents' room. It was really creepy because it was like I passed it and I went back and it wasn't there anymore. And there wasn't like anything that could have made that figure. You know, made it look like that figure. Like, really weird experience, and I wanted to keep myself up with those experiences and like be able to look back at this video. And yeah. Alright, so I just got out of the shower. I came home and I showered like right away because I was gonna Skype somebody till late. I was sitting inside of the kitchen, which is like there's a hallway and then it opens up to the little kitchen, and I was in the kitchen part. There was this whistle. It was like that. I was like, what? Because it sounded like it was coming out of the hallway at that point. But then I went over the again, and I called Miller because I was really freaked out about it. And I cut myself by accident on my ring finger. It's like a slit like from here to there, and it hurts really bad. And then I ran out the back, and then I couldn't push the gate open because the gate was like really close to the ground. It wasn't supposed to open. And I remember just like telling the story like in this like hurriedly way to my computer. One more experience that was actually fairly recent in that house was very similar to the man, but it was different. I came inside and I was looking around, and this time all of their doors were shut. I had to use the restroom, and I didn't want to wait till I got back to my house. So I went all the way back to the back side and I opened the bathroom door, which was shut, and I went to the bathroom. And while I walked out, I heard a voice, and it sounded like a lady that said, "Go now. just this happy, like, go now. Like, and it was weird. It felt like it was like hard for her to like speak too, but she just sounded so like happy for some reason. And I remember feeling the cold rush on to me as this lady whispered, go now. Like, it was like, what? And I had to stay because I had to do other things and help the dog. So I basically like knew at this point, like, either I pray or I'm gonna get in trouble. So I basically just said out a little prayer. I was like, Jesus, if anybody's gonna hurt me, hurt them. It was pretty intense. In the next video, I'm probably going to be talking about different times that my dog has indicated paranormal things happening. And there's just like a few things that my dog has shown to me after I got her. This is my dog. She's in a mood right now. But she is going to be in my next video as a part 3. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you like it, and also if you want to message me about anything, my art page is still up. It's in the description. The other previous video will be in the description below. Yeah, till next time.